Thank you very much, Lynn. Aloha, everyone.
Aloha.
You might wonder, why are we here tonight? Remember, every other election, the day of the filing deadline, we all get together at campaign headquarters and we talk about the efforts to come. But this was the filing deadline that would never end. So here we are, a little later than usual because of the unusual events that took place on the filing deadline. Nevertheless, we still have this opportunity to say aloha to the great candidates who have stepped forward to run for office. And I also want to thank their campaign managers and their supporters for being here as well. Those of you who have been willing to be a campaign manager, you deserve all of our appreciation and our gratitude because a candidate really needs you in order to have a chance to win election. Now, in one way, it's an exciting time to be a candidate because we are facing a challenging economic climate right now, which is the exact kind of atmosphere where you need good ideas, you need new ideas, you need fresh looks at things, and that's what you candidates all have an opportunity to do. Now, having said that, we're having a challenge right now. I'd also report to you that just this week, the new listing came out from Forbes magazine. You remember Forbes, they were the one that called us the what did they call us? Something Republic of, I don't know, but basically what they meant was we were the worst place in the nation to do business. 2 years ago, they listed us at the 42nd best place to do business. A year ago, we were at 37. The results just came out this week. We are at 27 in the nation. While we are challenged the way the rest of our nation and most parts of the world are challenged by the high cost of oil, by the tight credit markets, by subprime and how that's affected our main market on the West Coast for tourism, although we're challenged, what they're saying in these rankings is that our fundamentals are getting much better. You know that we worked so hard, and fortunately our Republicans were there in the legislature to make certain that we got past the reduction in the unemployment insurance for every business in this state. It went into effect January of this year. It will save businesses over 3 years, and it affects every business in the state. It will save them $151 million over a 3-year period, and that's an improvement. You know that we are focused on energy independence, energy security, and really it's economic security, because if we can't control the price of energy, both electricity and transportation, then we can't control the price of doing business. But beyond that, the people of the state are paying much higher prices for their electricity at home, for gasoline for their cars, and that's why we fought so hard to keep the cost of living down. And I want all of you candidates to hear this one issue that came up as an example of why your candidacy is so important. There was a bill in this session of the legislature to charge a new fee on all the cargo coming into the state, both by air and by ship. This at a time when we're suffering these very high food prices driven by world events perhaps, but nonetheless driving up the average family's cost of eating, of surviving. And so the Democrats passed a law to make it more expensive to bring food into the state. I vetoed the bill, and yet they're so arrogant. They so don't care about the cost of living that families are dealing with today. They actually overrode that veto, and by overriding that veto, what they said was, we don't care that the price of food will go up because of this bill. We just don't care. And the purpose of the bill is a good purpose. It's to fight invasive species, But our administration has spent more money than ever in our history on invasive species. The fact is, the Department of Agriculture can't even hire enough inspectors. There aren't enough people with that background to take those positions. And yet, they stepped forward and said, we're going to make it even more expensive for families to buy food to feed their families. And that kind of arrogance is why your candidacy is so important. Someone has to hold them to account for the decisions that they make. Somebody has to be walking door to door and saying to every voter in your district, did you know that my opponent voted to make your food bill even higher than it already was? And bring them a copy of that bill. These are facts. Everyone knows about it, but they don't put it in these terms. They just talk about a new fee. They talk about invasive species. It's up to you as you walk door to door. Put it in words that an average person can relate to. And what everyone can relate to is the cost of living that they're dealing with. So you have some good issues to talk about as you go door to door. If you give me a call, I'm happy to help you with other issues as well. Call Lynn Finnegan. She actually is better at this than I am. But because she was down in the legislature, she knows the issues that we dealt with. Your responsibility as a candidate for our party is to walk to every house in your district and to let them know how you would be different than your opponent. Why should they vote for you? Not just what they did, but what you would do differently. So if you talk to them about raising the price of food, you can say, I would not vote for that measure. I would care about what you're struggling with and your family is struggling with. So thanks again for stepping up like this. Thanks to our party chairman, Willis Lee, and his ongoing efforts, doing an outstanding job. Thanks for Geraldine Jeffries for being the only legitimate candidate. To Senator Hemming, Senator Sloan, Senator Trimble, thanks for your efforts, especially during all the appointment process when we would send down outstanding individuals to head our government departments, and you would stand right there with them and make sure that everyone knew how great Ted Liu is. Ted, good to see you tonight. I want to thank a former state representative, now the head of our Veterans Affairs Office, Mark Moses, for being here. Head of our Department of Hawaiian Homeland, Michael Kane, is here. Head of the Department of Transportation, Brennan Morioka. Head of the Office of Community Services, Sam Iona, is here. The last three just happen to be our former party chairmen as well. We appreciate their years of service to our candidates, to our party, and what that means to me is to our state, because every citizen of Hawaii benefits that we have a strong two-party system. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, the public is the #1 beneficiary of a strong two-party system where good ideas truly get debated in public for all to see. So to you candidates, you've got a great opportunity this year to talk about issues that matter to the people in your district. Go out and work hard, work really hard. Make the people around you know that this is important to you, that it's not just putting your name on a ballot, it's actually going out, pounding that pavement. And to all of our incumbents in the House who are here, thanks for being here, thanks for mentoring these young candidates. And I know Lieutenant Governor joins me in letting you know we'll be doing all we can to make certain that our two-party system vision really becomes a reality. Aloha.